conversation with him. We were playing with the mod. He's like,
is that at Valhalla? Oh, you gotta have a conversation.
Yeah, when he was here.
Hey, Blue Table fans, you like that? I just kind of, anyway. All right, here's the deal. We are going to fritz around a little bit today with Dropzone Commander. It turns out that Spencer here has actually played like 4 or 5 games, which makes him 4 or 5 times more experienced than me. And so I'm going to show you what we have. And Brett's on his lunch, same with me, and we are just going to, just kind of play around with it, and you can be part of that. All right, so here's the rule book, and the Force org charts are pretty complex, but they don't have to be if you understand what's going on. So you end up with this, and here's Brett with his post-human republic. The post-humans think they're superior.
They are.
They're snot-noses. I'm going to fix them with my United Colonies of Man. The real humans, unmodified. Okay, so first off, it shows you army roster. And this is kind of, these are the different types. There's HQ, armor, infantry, special, and fleet. And this is the size of the battle per 1,000 points. So up to 1,000, up to 2,000, up to 3,000 skirmish clash battle. So let's say Brett and I are going to play a skirmish. So for my United Colonies of Man army list, I can take 0 to 1 HQs. I must take 1 armor. I must take 1 to 2 infantry. 0 to 1 special, 0 fleet, but a maximum of 5 battle groups. So you got to understand, you're not just picking a unit, you're picking a battle group. So I'm going to show you a battle group right now. So we open the rule book to the Condor medium dropship, and this does not tell you what can go in this. You actually have to find the actual unit. So a Condor can have a Condor carries troops. So hold on, here it is. Transport, blah, 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 or may share 1 times Condor medium drop ship with another Colonial Legionnaire squad or Praetorian squad, provided they are both mounted in Bear APCs. So Bear APC, 3 units only. So this is how that works. It's a little weirdly worded, but it's not too hard to puzzle out. So you've got this guy, a Condor, and the Condor can carry 2 bears, which are these like Russian 8-wheelers, Extremely cool models, by the way. This model probably has more bulk than a regular infantry figure for a 28mm game. So that's how you have to think of Dropzone Commander. You have to think of it as the little tanks and stuff are infantry.
Yeah. Equivalent.
Okay, so you've got, let me see if I can't tighten up the shot just a little bit here. Bear with me, guys. Get it? Bear APC. All right, so you got the bears here, and then each bear can take 3 units of Colonial Legionnaires. So it's a transport. It's like Russian nesting dolls. You got a transport instead of transport instead of transport, and then guys inside. Yes, got to ride the kick up the layers. All right, so. What's really super cool and what's insanely cool about this game is that these will actually latch on. The thing will hold them. So not very well, so they'll drop off. But you can magnetize them. All right, yeah, show.
I just magnetize my guys here.
Okay. Hey.
Bless you, Shawn.
Oh man! By the way, that was me sneezing. That's disgusting. I'm so sorry. No, can you show that again? Because I didn't get to see it.
So, anyways. This is my equivalent dropship.
So is that, what's this called, a Neptune?
Yeah,
what is that?
Yeah, that's
Neptune class. And then that has 2 of these walkers. What are those called?
I'm not familiar with
They have like a number or something, like PS88 or whatever. Yeah. So hey, show it a little closer. Come up to about within 10 inches of the camera. Okay, give it a spin. Give it a spin. Okay, now pull one off and put it back on again. Okay, back up just a little bit. It's a little blurry. Okay, fantastic. See how that works? Isn't that the coolest? So you can tell what's going on.
Yeah.
So basically, in most scenarios, your guys, you know what? Let me just see if I can explain this. You don't start on the board. And by the way, we're doing these crates as buildings here. So, and by the way, I don't think we're actually going to play. We're going to, just show a little demo. Okay, so there's in readiness and in reserve. Can you explain that?
In readiness, our model, basically at the start of the game, instead of deploying in a deployment zone on the table, all your stuff comes in from off the table edge. So anything that's in readiness can just come right on. Reserves, you actually have to make rolls for, just like in 40K
Right.
or Flames.
Well, and if you make your reserve roll,
you can bring
they're
in
just in readiness now. Is that right?
that. I'm not entirely sure.
Okay.
That hasn't come up a lot in the games I played. Most of the games I played, all the missions we did were just, everything was in readiness, and came on, dropped stuff off, and just started shooting each other.
Okay,
So-
great. So in readiness means the model is actually off the board like this.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, so
it's your turn.
it'll
You
start-
can activate it and just move it right up.
Yep,
You
it
don't
can
roll
move
or
up.
anything.
Nope. It can just move up to its movement speed from off the table edge.
Okay, great. So let's do. Are you familiar with this particular faction?
A little bit. I play
Okay.
Shaltari, so that's what I'm familiar
You're gonna be my master, Spencer.
I'm familiar with PHR because my buddy Mike played them
Okay,
back in
great.
Maryland, and
Right.
they are tough. Like, those walkers have 2 hit points each. They're really hard to crack, and I hate them. Hate them so much.
Oh, the walkers did.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I don't hate Mike. Mike's a
Right.
great guy.
Nothing personal.
No.
Nothing personal. Okay, so show me how this model would go onto the board and actually unload. Okay, so it's your turn.
So-
You're going to activate this battle group. These guys are
So
on
those
here.
would be on there. You can move this up to half its speed.
All right. So let's
I don't
just
know what its
just for the
speed
sake of
is.
argument here, we'll go to Condor medium dropship. It's 18 inches.
18 inches. So it can move up to 9 inches.
Uh huh.
So you can move it up here.
Well, that's more like 12.
I don't have a tape.
I'm
Bear
sorry.
with me.
Yeah, you're right. I just nitpicked you for no
Yes,
apparent reason.
Thank you.
Okay, great.
So it can move 9 inches.
Right.
If it was starting back here.
Right.
So I was actually pretty close.
Okay.
So it can move there, and then it has to make a landing where it basically becomes a grounded vehicle. So now infantry and stuff without anti-aircraft weapons can shoot at
Okay.
it.
So, and it can do it on the same turn.
Yeah, so it'll land and then unload these guys.
Right. Up to
within-
3 inches.
Yeah, within 3 inches of it.
Right. 3 inches of the edge of the base. Can there be like a 3-inch gap? Do you know how you measure
Yeah,
that?
it's from the edge of the base.
Okay.
So you could deploy
So
these
it's almost like
guys-
coherency.
Yeah. So you could deploy those APCs like that, and then these can move half speed as well.
Right.
But none of them can shoot or anything like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay,
If you
didn't know.
if you deploy from a dropship, you cannot shoot that turn.
All right. So a bear has a movement of 6, and it says it's S plus C is squad, and C is coherency. So what does squad T mean? Oh, it's a transport.
Yes.
You can't just buy it. Okay, so standard means, I wonder how
Standard
far that is.
coherency is.
Oh my gosh, you're going to teach us how to play this game.
I believe 6
This is
inches.
great. Yeah, let's go to the coherency.
It has been a couple of weeks. Actually, it's been well over a month now that I think about it, because I've been here for about a month and a half.
Okay.
So it's been a little while since I actually played a game, but I'm pretty sure standard coherency is like 6 inches.
Oh, here you go. Here you go. Coherency is standard is 3 inches away
3 inches.
from another unit. Now, my question is, these guys don't have to maintain coherency with this. Do they have to maintain coherency with each other?
Yes. So he would actually have to be like up here.
Right. Have to be within
Now
3
this
inches.
still count. This is part of their battle group, but it's not part of their unit.
Right. There's a difference between a battle group and
Yeah.
a unit.
So a unit would be these 2 guys on their own.
Right.
The battle group would consist of both the APCs, the transport, and the infantry inside.
So here's my question. Can the infantry inside, these 3 guys in each one, can they deploy out of this the same turn that it's landed?
No,
Okay.
don't believe you can.
Yeah, I don't think so either, from the game I played with Dave.
Right. Yeah. So
Okay.
once these things deploy, once they come out of a dropship, they can move half speed. They can't unload their infantry, and they can't shoot.
Okay.
So it sort of works the same way going backwards. So you can't shoot and then go into a dropship. You would have to move
Right.
half speed up to the dropship. The dropship has to be landed. Then it can pick you up and it can move half speed.
Now, typically, Brett, do you want to show? Brett's like, I'm wasting my lunch hour
no,
on
this-
this. You're learning too.
I am. Exactly.
Right, me
I'm
too.
being useful.
Awesome. Oh, Spencer, you're useful normally. What's going on?
Yeah, I won't point out the giant box of Infinity stuff I had to order that's sitting back there.
Yeah.
So yeah, so basically
Alright,
once you
sounds
deploy
good.
or anytime you interact with a dropship with one, like a land vehicle, they move half speed, can't shoot.
Okay.
So on the next turn, these guys can move up their half speed to
All
unload
right.
these
So
guys, or they can move full
let's,
speed to go wherever they want.
just for the sake of argument,
Okay.
let's pull out this Scourge tank. Let me look at what it is. That's what that looks like, by the way.
That is one of their heavy grav tanks. I can't
Yeah,
remember which
it's
one
a
exactly.
ground-to-ground type of thing.
Yeah.
Hold on. Here it is. Okay, that's a Scourge Reaper. Is that right? Oh, no, it's a Scourge Slayer.
Yes, Slayer.
Okay, so now let's say these guys deploy. Now it's my turn, and I have one surviving member of this battle group here, which is this this Slayer, right? Mm-hmm. Now, this guy, let's grab some. You have some dice there?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay. So let's say this guy is right here.
Okay.
Can you still see that on the camera? You can't. Hold on. You know what? I'm just going to tighten this up a little bit. Okay, so let's say this guy's right here. So now I want to activate that unit. Actually, can you see that at all? No, I'm still off. How come I don't do it right? Shawn, why you know focus correctly? Yeah, hold on. Trying to get it to pan out. Okay,
All the
good.
time he plays with these cameras.
That's right. All right, so the Reaper, the Slayer, now I want to shoot one of these bears.
Okay.
Right? Going shooting for bear, what? Okay, so the Slayer has a movement of 6 inches, right?
Yep.
And it has a range of 12 inches, and then it also has range versus something with countermeasures, 12 inches.
Yes.
Usually that's different. It's like
Yeah.
a shorter range for versus countermeasures.
Yeah, in most cases.
And everything has countermeasures.
Everything except infantry. Most
That's
infantry
right.
do not.
Right. So countermeasures are like, flak launchers, protective
Force fields, stuff
whatever,
like that.
something that prevents them from getting hurt. Because they're really, if you use a 40K equivalent, there's really only a to wound roll in this game. There's really no armor saves.
Right.
You roll once and you take your damage like a man.
Shaltari.
Right.
They
Shaltari
have their
get the
force
saves,
field saves,
right.
which I love and my friends all hated.
Oh, it's
I think they're
fantastic.
glad I'm gone because they don't have to deal with Shaltari shenanigans anymore.
They don't. Yeah, and Shaltari are the finesse army.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I'm going to shoot, and what it does is it says accuracy, which is 2+, so I need a 2+ to hit the bear.
And you roll 2 shots. You roll 2 dice when you
Okay,
fire.
yeah, SH, if you look here, shots is 2, so I'm going to roll 2 dice. Okay, sounds good. Now, but I can make a half move before or after I shoot,
Yes.
right? So I can shoot and then move behind
Yep.
cover, right? So I'm going to go 2 up. I'm going to
So
roll a
that'd be
6
2
and a
hits.
3, so that's 2 hits. So now I look at the energy of my weapon, which is huge, it's ridiculous, 11 inches. But 12 inches is
energy.
short range, 11 energy, right? What did I say?
11 inches.
Yeah, see, that's why you can't listen to what I say. All right, so you've got a bear.
All right. So what you do is you check the bear's armor,
Yep.
which
So
should be
here's the deal.
pretty decent.
If the energy and the armor are the same, it's not a 4-up.
It's a 5-up.
It's a 5-up. So it's slightly harder to actually kill something.
So the
bear
bear
has armor of
8.
8. Okay,
So there is a chart in here.
yeah, but
11
you
versus
don't
8 is like a
really
2
need the
plus,
chart.
I think.
Right. So what
Yeah,
I do
11
is I roll
crazy
up.
Good.
Okay. So I roll. I just need a 2-up.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay. Now I rolled a 1.
Okay.
But I also rolled a 4. Now, why is that interesting that I rolled a 4?
If you roll double what you need, it does 2 damage.
I don't think it's double. I think it's 2 above what you need.
2 above?
Yeah, isn't
might
that
be
right?
it.
Yeah, that is it.
Yeah, so if you roll 2 above, so in this case he needed a 2 and he rolled a 4.
Right.
Basically, if he rolls a 4 or higher, he's going to do 2 damage points to it.
Right.
So a bear, I think, only has 1 damage point anyway.
No, they have 2.
They have 2?
Actually, if you look
That
at
would-
it, damage
so-
points 2.
All right, so in this case, you would pretty much just insta-gib this one.
Right.
It will go, it will die.
What happens to the guys inside?
The guys
They bail out.
inside?
There's a chart.
There is a
for it.
chart. I've never had it come up.
Really?
I've
You've
shot
never
down,
had a
I've shot
thing?
down transports many times, but I've never had an APC get blown up with the infantry inside. So
Okay, destroyed aircraft. One slight downside is there's no index for this game.
Yeah, but
Garrison,
it's such a pretty book,
structure.
so I'm okay with it.
Oh, it is. And believe me, I have, only the mildest of criticism for this game.
Yeah.
And heaps of praise. The models, the idea, that this one guy created all of this.
Yeah.
Like, this is like 5 times as much as Privateer Press came out with in,
And-
what is it, 2002 with...
And
War
what's
Machine.
funny about it is it all started when all we knew was there's some really sexy looking models being shown at Salute earlier this year or late last year. I don't remember what it was.
Right.
And then we just kept getting more and more previews, and then the book came out, and it turned out to be this great set of rules, and everybody jumped on it. And poor Dave
Oh, here you go.
couldn't
Yeah.
keep up the production for it because
Oh, yeah.
it was such huge demand. But he's got it laid out from what he told me when he was here. Is now he's got more people working for him because he can afford it, and they're bumping up their production. So more stuff's going to be available again, which is great because I need to buy more stuff.
We were lucky to get these.
Yeah, I lucked out.
Large armies.
I lucked out that I was able to get my starter box and my rule book.
All right, I found the destroyed ground transport table.
All right.
So it's 1 to 2 is disabled, 3, 4, 5 is bad damage. Each unit destroyed on a 4-up, and a 6 is explosion. So let's go ahead and roll that. Let's
So this
get
is
our
gone.
focus in.
So the infantry would pop out.
Well, we'll see about that. 4, so each unit is destroyed on a 4-up. So there's 3 guys. So I'll roll 2 guys.
2
One
would
guy
die.
lives. So it says destroyed ground. If your ground destroys, blah blah blah. Okay, any units that survive a destruction of the transport must be placed on the table within 3 inches of the wreck and in coherency. Units may not shoot for the remainder of the turn, but may move. So that's it.
Yeah. So these guys
could bail out and like go over here.
Yeah, or they could, on their turn, they could go and take this building.
Right. Okay, fantastic. Okay, good. And by the way, that's what troops are for. Troops are a huge deal. Buildings are a huge deal in Dropzone
It's a very
Commander.
terrain-centric game.
Oh yeah, it's not like the terrain is an afterthought that just blocks sight
It's
or gives
very
gives
important
cover.
in this game.
Yeah, it's that terrain is that's where all the objectives are. You
Yeah.
have to go into the
So
terrain.
you have to go
And
inside
only
of the
the
area.
troops can go in and actually carry these objectives out.
Although, interestingly, you can shoot from building to building. So if you
Right.
had troops here and I had guys here, and I had a weapon that could do it, I could just start shooting out the windows at you if you had fired from that building previously.
That's interesting. Yeah,
Because-
and there's a lot of rules to this game.
There
Go
are,
ahead, sorry.
but it's one of those games where if you sit down and try to read the rule book cover to cover, it seems really, really daunting and complicated.
Right.
But when you actually sit down and you play 2 or 3 games,
It's very
you're
smooth.
like, oh, it makes sense now.
Right.
Infantry are probably one of the more complicated things, just because of the way buildings and close quarter combat and all that works. But the very basics of it are pretty simple, and
Right.
they run really smooth, and I really do like that.
I like the fact they have rules for destroying buildings.
Yes.
Some,
Oh,
some
yeah.
Blow
pesky
buildings
infantry
up.
inside a building giving you trouble, just bring the building down on top of them.
My
fantastic.
buddy Mike, who I mentioned previously, actually did that to me. I had
Right.
I had 2 bases of Shaltari infantry in a building, and he could not dislodge them. So he took a couple of his walkers and just started shooting the building until
Right.
it collapsed on them.
And it's instant death.
It
for
murdered
everything
them
in there.
bad.
Right. That's that. It's It's a super interesting game.
Yes.
It's
It's the thing
Really
I like
simple.
about it is it's different from anything else on the market that I've played. And I've played a lot of games. I have to play a lot of games. I have a whole big shelf of rule books of games I don't even play. But it's just
Right.
it's such a vast difference because you play something like 40K or War Machine, it's the infantry are moving, they're the focus. In this, it's all about mobility.
right.
And the more dropships you have, the better.
It's strategy.
Yeah.
Now, here's my question: if I had 2 of these condors, which I could, right? Could this one pick up those guys?
No.
So you can't mix
Yeah, I think it has to be
transports.
within the same battle group.
Right. And again, I want
Now,
to point out.
Shaltari, on
all
the other
these-
hand, can.
Yeah, go ahead.
Shaltari can transport through any gate they have, which are their
Right.
transports. Regular transports.
Yeah, talk
they
about
have to be
Shaltari
part
gates.
of-
Go ahead.
Shaltari gates are, I think the best way to describe them is shenanigans. because basically you can. Oh no, it's pretty clear.
So
you
yeah,
can
just so you know,
teleport
go
through
ahead.
one and out of another.
That's how they explain it in the rule book.
So basically, instead of having like
There's
a
that.
dedicated transport like the other armies, you have these teleportation gates,
Yeah.
and you can go in and out of
This
two
is what they
different
look
gates
like.
in the same turn.
They fly around.
So you can literally move a heavy walker from one end of the table to the other in one activation. So long as you have two unactivated gates, it can go in one, pop out the other. So Shaltari are very notorious for just randomly throwing guys across the table if they have gates there. Now, their gates do have the disadvantage that their armor is paper mache basically, and they have no weapons.
Yeah, this one is armor 4. Armor 4.
Yeah, their armor
my gosh,
4,
goodbye.
They have no weapons. Their advantage though is they do have that. They have their countermeasures, which is a 5+ save.
Right.
So
Kinda
they
like what? Yeah, I'm sorry, Dave. I'm going to use 40K equivalents. It's like an invulnerable save.
It is. They're the only army that has it though. So they kind of make up for it. Their gates do have a cool thing, which is if an enemy charged atmosphere. If an enemy dropship or plane or any aircraft moves within like 4 inches of them, it takes damage because it's basically they're distorting the atmosphere around them with their hover technology. So when you fly by, it starts tearing their ships apart. So you can
So cool.
I've suicide
it's
bombed
neat.
with these things where you just park them in the middle of the table and force your opponent to have to go through them if they want to get to an objective, and their ships start taking damage.
Okay, well, I think Brett probably wants to blow something up here.
I always want to blow something up.
Right, so why don't you guys do a little demo where Brett shoots up some Scourge figures here.
Sweet.
Okay, so basically you're able to see like this section of the board
This little part
there.
here?
Right.
Okay.
I'm going to go get some terrain I've been working on and hopefully show that. All right, so here we go. He's setting up some Scourge figures. A starter box comes with about 17 figures. And
The small starter box at least.
right. Yeah, well,
That's the one you can get from any retailer.
there's starter boxes. Here we go. There's a starter box, a large army, and a mega army is the 3 sizes of pre-mades that they do. The mega army has everything and is about 2,500 points. The
It's also about
large
$300
army
something.
is right. The large army, and it comes with like 50 figures.
Yeah, it's well
Oh, it's
worth
a
the money.
huge. Oh yeah, get that one.
If you've got $380 or so laying around and you want to buy
Yeah,
it,
laying
it's a great-
around.
just kicking
People-
around.
So there's
You
people
can-
out there that have that
You can
laying
buy
around.
that army.
Yeah.
You can have it shipped to us.
Yes.
And we can paint it up.
And that's what I was about to say is that I'm not sure if we have Dropzone Commander pricing yet, but we're ready to do it.
Do have a spreadsheet.
Do we have a spreadsheet? Okay, then that's easy. And I think it just classes different types of ships.
Yeah.
And it's
a generic spreadsheet.
It's generic.
It's not perfect.
Fantastic. So we for these tanks, this is like painting up a 28 millimeter infantry figure basically, and it's scaled off of that. You can get the different levels. The models I have here, I painted for my own entertainment, which I tend to go off the rails for the levels on them. They're probably between a 2 and a 3, basically, and just a very, very basic paint job on the ones that I've done. And
But being 10 millimeter, you can get away with that.
well, right, because if you in the rule book, if you look up the pictures of their 10 millimeter infantry,
Yeah.
mine do not look like that.
No.
They are so bad.
I think Dave has some kind of like crazy robot eye that can magnify
Yeah, I
like
think.
400%.
And by the way, and
That
again,
is
Dave Lewis.
uncommonly good.
I'm sorry, and Spencer, I just got to apologize if I interrupt you because I do that, and I realize that it's an odious personal habit. So check it out. So these Scourge, what are these called? Desolators or something like that?
No, that's just one of their
Depravinators?
The Desolator is the big like flying squid thing.
Right.
That like literally
So
just shoots.
anyway, like many of them, it actually will hold the tanks on it. So this holds them almost like a CD rack. Of course, once you start manipulating the turret and making it go up and down, then it won't fit on anymore. And it doesn't really matter. Quite frankly, I think if you just put one tank on, you know, that just shows that it's loaded up. And yeah, this game is a nail biter. I'm stopping short of saying this is the best miniatures battles game that I've come across. I need to get about 20 games under my belt before I award any titles. Sorry.
Trying to make copies, but it wasn't working.
As far as
Sorry.
large scale
Brett, would you like one of those rule books? Do you have a rule book yet?
I do not have a rule book.
Oh, I will gift you one then.
Serious?
Yeah, Dave left me like 4.
I love my job.
Hey,
Just
here-
serving those.
Hey, here I'm a sucker who bought it.
Shawn, do you want me to take this one? Sorry.
What?
Do you want me to take
No. I actually like the trashed one
Okay.
because it makes me feel not so bad when I'm not being kind to it as a book.
When Shawn checks one of his model stats, he's like, I don't like that. Just starts smacking against the table.
No, don't do it.
Sending Dave
Okay,
angry
so
emails.
here's what Brett's going
What
to
are we
do.
doing here?
Brett is going to come in for a hot landing,
Gnarly.
and he is going to drop his troops off, endure 1 round of fire, and then he's going to shoot back.
All right.
Okay, so he's got his Neptune class dropship.
This same guy.
In fact, yeah, hand me my rule book and I'll show you a better picture of it. Right, so by the way, I didn't quite finish my thought. If you want to play Dropzone Commander, we're ready to do that. And just put in an inquiry to bluetablepainting@gmail.com. I would like to point out that Blue Table Painting has been around for 9 years, weathered all sorts of adversities, and we have over 6,000 projects under our belt. The current gallery count is 6,126. So I'm saying right around 6,000 projects. And so that's a lot of contracts fulfilled. So anyway, yeah, we're put in an inquiry to bluetablepainting@gmail.com. We do at this time prefer that clients order their own figures, send them directly to the studio. Brett knows. It's just infinitely easier. The package shows up, it says Joe Schmo on it. We get Joe Schmo's bin with his instructions and everything in it, and it just gets right down to the art department. And it makes me happy.
Very
inside.
fast, very efficient.
So
Yep.
one thing we forgot to
Go
mention
ahead.
When we were talking about what comes
Whoa,
in the starter box.
I've got like close up.
Nobody wants to see me that close.
Yeah. Go ahead,
why-
keep
that's why
talking,
everybody's happy I
keep
did.
talking.
So in the starter
That's
box,
Brett's
what you
army.
get is you get 3 medium drop ships, you get 6 tanks, 2 APCs, and infantry.
And that varies.
It's
Yeah.
the starter set makes for a really good game.
Yeah, the standard starter
There
set
you
is
go.
the 3 drop ships, 2 APCs, and 6 tanks. And then the infantry varies depending on the army. Like the United Colonies and then like
Well, I've got 4 stands of infantry and I only have 2 tanks.
yeah.
Right.
So yeah.
So
Well,
this top one is a starter set. Here's the large army, and that has. I'm sorry to interrupt you guys. I'm literally blocking you off from thing. Look at what I'm doing. I'm talking from behind the camera.
Why is this book talking to me?
So here is this one 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 31 items. And then the next one up, this is the mega army, and this should have something like 50. Yeah, who knows?
And the cool thing is they're all built up from the standard like starter box you get, and then he basically just adds more to it until you get to the mega army, which literally has
and I
at least
think-
one of everything for that army.
Yeah, in fact, I think the mega army for post-human the large army has everything represented.
Yeah.
And the thing that's rare in an army is the air fighters. So if you look here in so starter, large, you get this huge drop ship. They all have some super large drop ship, but they have this air fighter. Those things are super important in the game. If you go to UCM, I actually don't think
They
you
have
get.
some of the coolest looking fighters.
Oh, they do.
Too.
I don't think you get. Yeah, in fact, for United Colonies of Man, you get these two. I just don't know what they're called, like the Archangel, and then down on the bottom for the Mega Army, you get this thing.
Yeah.
So-
So you get 2 archangels and a seraphim.
Yeah, that's the one.
And they're so
it's
cool. The
awesome.
archangels, like you look at them in pictures and they're really cool, and then when Dave brought one here and like you get to hold it, it's a lot bigger than you think, but
Right.
it's so good. It's so detailed. It's delicious.
Oh yeah, it's
But the other
fantastic.
thing you get in a starter box is you actually get a deck of command cards.
Right.
And each race has different cards. They have some that
Is
are
that
the same.
only in the starter?
I
I don't
He
think so. I
sells
think
them, they sell them individually, but if you buy the starter boxes, they come in these. So these are pretty cool. Basically, if you have a commander, he gets you X amount of cards per turn that you can have in your hand. And they do all sorts of different stuff. Like Shaltari ones have ones that upgrade their shield saves. PHR has some pretty brutal ones.
Yeah, I got some ones.
Scourge, I don't know too much about their cards. Although I do like Abandon All Hope. That's a pretty mean name for a card. But there's some that are common, like Espionage is one that every army has the Espionage card in their decks. But then they also have unique cards too.
All right, guys, we're coming up on a half hour, so let's go for it. Okay,
All right,
so it's your turn. You're going to activate a battle group.
Okay.
We're going to assume that this is the last surviving member of your battle group.
Okay.
Right.
Half speed to drop your guys off.
Okay.
Okay.
Or you can just move up full speed. And
So
you can put
really,
him further
his
up.
first turn, quote unquote, is he activates that battle, and it's going to be simple. He's going to move 9, deploy his guys off
Okay.
of it.
And should I? Okay. Let's go.
Yeah, it's
Movement of 15 inches. 15.
okay. So you can go 7.5 inches.
7.5 inches. All right. Let's go here.
So what would happen in this case is I've got some
hold on.
anti-aircraft tanks.
Oh, okay. Wow, you're really going to stick it to him. I'm ready. Go
No,
ahead.
I want to show how
No, go ahead.
works.
Go, don't let me stop you,
These
Spencer.
guys, I have to look
So
them
here's his AA tanks right there.
up. So these are Reaper anti-aircraft grav tank squad. Actually, I don't think we're going to be able to reach them because they only have a range of 9. Oh no!
Out of range. Okay.
Now, if he were in range, what would happen is, so if he were moving to here, basically these 3 guys would get to shoot at him, but then during their activation on my turn, they wouldn't get to shoot again. So it's kind of a toss-up between, do you want to shoot at his stuff now, or do you want to wait until your turn?
Right, because if you shoot at it now, those guys can't shoot
Right,
when
they can't
it's their
shoot
turn to
their
activate.
And likewise, if he had had a dropship here and I had previously shot it down
Right,
on their activation, he could move this guy up without fear because they wouldn't be able to
Safely.
shoot him again.
right, very complex.
Okay. So now my guys. So now he lands.
Yep,
Yeah.
he will
So
land.
the guys.
Those guys
So
will
they can do within 3 inches of
Yep.
the drop ship and within 3 inches of each other, right?
Okay.
Okay.
I also might note, while Brett's doing that a great feature of this game is this little, hold on, let's see if I can get it. They have like a peg. Normally it's painted black or whatever. I forgot to paint this one black. So anyway, so instead of actually sticking the stand into the model, it has this really cool fitted peg. Okay, go ahead, guys. Sorry.
All right,
He deploys his guys.
and I can move them half their movement.
Yep, they can move
Okay.
half their speed.
They only have a movement of 3 inches, so I can move them a whopping 1.5 inches.
Right, but can I point out that, like, for these to shoot, like, you kind of want to get
Behind cover.
this
Right.
3 inches and then move them a half inch,
Uh-huh.
so that, like, those tanks can't even
Okay.
see them.
Well, then let's do that then.
Because those guys move, these guys move 9. So,
All right.
The walkers,
no, the hunter tanks here.
that's fast.
That's very
It's pretty fast. I've seen
Yeah,
faster.
that's pretty fast. Oh boy.
Well, considering
All right.
my guys only 3 inches.
Yeah, that's the PHR thing. They're really hard to kill, but they're so slow on the ground.
Yeah.
Like even
So
their
is
tanks are
PHR
super
the heavily armored slow
Yeah.
guys then?
Like,
Okay.
Their walkers, instead of
guess
having
it.
tanks like everybody else, they have a couple of tanks, but they primarily have these walkers, which
Right.
have
The
2
walkers
damage
are a big
points
deal.
each. They're slow, but they also have like 9 armor or something.
And they've
They're-
got good countermeasures. for
yeah, they're pretty ridiculous.
Yeah.
Wait, do they have passive countermeasures?
No.
Which is the
They
rolling
have,
one?
just regular act.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they're still
All right,
really
so
hard
now
to
it's your turn, Spencer.
So what I
So
would
you
do
would
is I would
activate
activate
a battle group.
So we'll say I have 2 separate
This
battle
battle's a
groups
little
here.
lopsided.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
well,
That's
all right.
fine. No,
It's
it's good.
demonstration.
Good for a demo.
I'm just glad Brett's on the lopsided end and it's not me this time. So these guys, I would activate this battle group, we'll say. And so these guys can move 9 inches. So I can move him up to here. I think he's going to be the only one who can get a shot off.
John?
Move this guy up behind here. Actually, I think these 2, I don't know. He's probably going to be the only one who can shoot. And their dropship is just going to kind of move up here just in case. Oh, actually, the dropship can shoot too, can't he? I'm not used to dropships that can shoot. Yes.
So for the PHR, there's actually two chassis of the heavy walkers. This is like the Type A chassis.
Okay, hold on. I just want to show
yeah.
people this. Okay, so go
No,
ahead.
so this is the
what
Type
it
A
looks like.
chassis. This is actually the Type B chassis. It has a different
Which is-
front end.
okay.
And the whole body part.
Right.
Yeah, that's the heavy
Oh, this
walker.
is the, like the command one. All right, I'm going to go scare up another one. Okay, go ahead.
So I'm also going to move this guy up. 'cause
So
he's a walking
you moved your tank's half move,
Yeah.
right?
No,
So,
move the tank's full move.
oh, okay. Can you still shoot if you do that?
I believe you can.
Oh, yeah. Actually, each unit has a move
it's the move
and then
and shoot.
a move and shoot, which is
Yeah.
sometimes less.
So they have a move and shoot of 9. So they can
Okay.
move their full speed and shoot.
Right.
The dropship.
So that's a
on the
differentiation.
other hand,
So these guys, that that
Has a
was
moving
fast.
fire.
They just zipped right on around
So then
and
this guy
got
can
a
actually
pretty
move
decent
up to
line of
here and
sight.
still shoot. Because he can
Uh-oh,
move
Brett.
12 inches.
I'm
and shoot
sorry,
this
I
guy.
was trying to
scared.
make it like roughly fair.
We'll
but
see what happens.
Spencer just kept deploying guys. I was like, why
I
is
took
he
out
deploying the whole
just in
army?
case. So what's going to happen now is I'll use my tanks to shoot at this guy. If I can borrow some dice.
I suppose you can use my own dice against me.
Yeah. I don't want to hear it after that War Machine game, buddy. So this is really the only tank that can see anything. These two are kind of blocked by this building.
Right.
So he's going to shoot at him. His gun has a 12-inch range against countermeasures, so easily in range. However, it's only one shot, but it hits on a 2+.
Okay.
Here we
So,
go.
a 6 would hit.
Definitely.
Okay, now we need his armor and your energy.
Yep. So I have an energy of 11.
My armor is 9.
Armor is 9.
Okay, so he needs a 3-up.
Is that 3 up?
Because, yeah, if it's equal, it's a 4-up. Excuse me, a 5-up. So you beat him by 2, so it becomes easier by 2. So it goes to a 3-up.
Just want to double check the chart.
Wow, Spencer's got to look up the chart, even after that amazingly concise explanation of how it works.
Yep. 3 up.
Oh, amazing! I'm sorry, who was right again?
I wasn't doubting
Can-
you, Sean. I'm just checking
Would
for
you
my
please
own.
point at the person that was right?
You can't see it on the camera. So 3 up to damage him. So a 5 will damage him. So it's 2 more than I needed. So it does 2 damage points. So that walker effectively
gone.
explodes.
So is he removed from the game?
Yes.
All right, so you needed a 3. You
Needed
rolled a
3.
5.
Rolled a 5 for damage.
That was 2 in excess, so it does 1 extra damage.
Yep. And his walkers are 2 damage points each.
Right.
So it ends up doing 2, which kills that one walker.
Boom.
And then I won't shoot anything else this turn because I want to give Brett a chance to shoot.
Now, here's a question. If there was a separate battle group over here, I'll just put this little marker there, could the tanks have split their fire among 2 different battle groups?
No, they
You
have
have
to
to
fire.
shoot
They
the
have to
same
fire. Well,
unit.
they have to fire. Yeah, they have to fire at the same unit.
Right. But inside the unit, you can assign the shots.
Yes.
You can say he's going to shoot him, he's going to shoot him, he's going to
So
shoot
if your
him.
opponent, so if in this case one of these guys only had 1 health on him left, I could focus a couple more shots at him to try and take him
Now,
out.
when do you make that decision? Do you make it before you roll to hit?
Yes, when you're declaring your fire.
Right. So you can't be like, first guy shoots, okay, he misses. Second guy shoots at that guy with 1 hit point left or
Right.
damage point.
Right.
Right. So,
So you have to
it
declare.
prevents
so when,
that ridiculousness.
Yeah. So when you're sitting there and you say, okay,
Right.
this unit's going to shoot at this unit, so guy A is going to shoot at him, guy B is going to shoot at him, guy C is going to shoot at him.
So here, bring your guy back over. So, and by the way, this is really simple. It goes a lot faster than it sounds. So you'd be like, okay, these 2 tanks are shooting at that guy and that guy at.
Yeah.
So, 2 hits.
2 hits on him.
1
hit
hit.
on him.
Okay, damage, 3 up. Okay,
So
there's
he
2
would die.
damage points. So that one took 3 damage points with a 6 and a 3. And this one took 1 damage point.
So this one would still effectively go kersplat.
Right.
And then that guy would have a damage point taken off.
Oh, and by the way, there are arcs on
Projectile.
the guys on these tanks. They can't necessarily shoot all the way around. They
Right.
have firing arcs. Now you can, get around that by just angling your guys the way they need to go.
Show you
But,
here in the rule book.
yeah.
So it says arc,
Front,
you got
side,
front, side,
rear.
rear. So a turret can
All
shoot all
around.
the way around. But certain things.
Well, my guys can only shoot.
So like the Prowler pack here, which is these creepy little walker things, only have a front arc.
which is a specialty. Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm thinking narrow.
Yeah,
There is a
specialty.
fourth arc, which is narrow, which is a tiny little front,
Yeah.
range.
So like infantry have a 360 shot because
Right.
it's just assumed they can turn around.
Right.
So everything with a turret basically is 360.
And I might go back to the infantry. I might point out that infantry have like armor 3, which is ridiculously low. They just get blown up. But they're
Infantry out
taken
in the
off
open
by
will
the.
die.
See, look at this. Damage points 5. There's 1 damage point per guy. And the way the game's written is these guys actually take wounds and can't shoot as much.
Right. Yeah, so infantry that get caught out in the open are as good as gone in most cases.
Yeah.
Because armor 3 is not going to save you against the tank shooting you.
All right, guys. Well, we're way over time. I just want to say, Dropzone Commander is a fantastic game. It is become available at more and more places. It started to be easier to find, and eBay. Wow, I mentioned eBay right off.
Actually, I don't know if you'll be able to find too much on eBay.
Yeah, and I don't know if Miniature Market has it yet.
I don't believe they do yet, but I know
They're stocking it.
eFigures has it.
eFigures has it.
Webstore has it.
War Store, right.
Miniature
so a
Market,
lot of places
I believe,
have
is
it.
getting it in.
Hot War Games directly as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which is
Hot
the
War
only
Games
place you can get the large and mega armies.
Yes.
You have to order directly from their website for those.
To get the bigger ones. All right, well, there you go.
But-
My recommendation, if you're getting into Dropzone Commander and you just want to get your feet wet, just get a starter army, plain and simple. If you know you love it, you're like, I don't want to get there and find out that I got to wait, 2 weeks to get in this other thing or have supply issues. Just order a large army, and you can drop ship it directly to Blue Table Painting. We'll assemble and paint it, and just get it done. Oh, don't think I'll forget the plug. That's right.
Oh no, I was talking about the pun of drop shipping to Blue Table.
Drop ship it to Blue Table Painting.
Dropzone.
At the very least, the one thing I want to suggest,
Yeah,
pick up the book. If you're even remotely interested,
absolutely.
even if you don't end up playing the game, the book is beautiful. And it's affordable, everything's full color. It really is
great fluff too.
Yeah, the setting is amazing. So at the very least, if you're interested in the game, check out the rule book, give it a quick look over, or watch this video. You're really interested in learning the rules, and then you can get a starter army and you can have it sent to us and we'll paint it up for you. We'll be glad to do it. We love these models. We want to see more of them come through.
All right, thanks a lot, guys.